So this is a BMW 5 Series. It's an F10 pre-LCI 520d. Looks like it came head to head with a pole or a tree and lost. All down the side is damaged as well. Engine actually started okay, not many warning signs apart from engine oil level too high. Probably diluted with diesel from failed DPF regens on short trips. Under the hood we have our N47D20C. There's no visible damage to the engine mounts. It's all. From what we can see, it looks like the crash missed the headlights, the parking sensors and the fog lights. There's also pedestrian crash sensors in these that make the bonnet pop up. It looks like that didn't deploy either. But you don't really know what you're dealing with until you start stripping something apart. So being an N47, you want to make sure on cold start that you don't hear the dreaded timing chain rattle, because the timing chain is on the back of these, so it's not cheap to do it. It's not even cheap to buy the kit. Any hidden issues will most likely put us over budget with this build, but let's get it into the garage and get it stripped apart. So front bumper off, it's broken, it's grills, clips, vents, we're just going to get a new bumper. We can see the crash bar is damaged, the lower crash bar is damaged. The pedestrian crash strip did come out okay, and the parking sensors did all unplug okay. None of them were damaged, all the wiring was okay for them, so that's one good sign. So the pedestrian protection strip on an F10 is a strip that goes across behind the front bumper, and once it gets a heavy enough bounce, it should activate explosive latches on the bonnet that will cushion a pedestrian's fall. So as we strip it down further, we see we're going to need to replace the main crash bar, the lower crash bar lip. We have the kidney grille vents that electronically open and close to bring the car up to operating temperature faster. We're going to need to replace that. So we ordered this piece here along with all the plastic bits and trims that go with it. So this is removing the bottom crash bar here, and then we remove the main crash bar above it. Luckily, when we replaced these, they slid and bolted right in, so that way we knew that nothing was twisted, the chassis legs weren't bent. So yeah, it definitely took a good impact on that point. Okay, and here we have the main crash bar unbolted. The chassis leg on the left hand side was completely fine, that unbolted. The right hand side was pinched, destroyed. Luckily we were able to get the bolts out. The frame itself is fine, so we'll just get a new chassis leg for that along with the crash bar. Slot that in, all good. So now that we got it stripped right back, I thought this is where the damage would stop, but there's this strange knock here in actually the left side, even though it was hit on the right. So that's the AC condenser, or AC kind of radiator if you want to call it, and that definitely needs replacement. You can see around it that it is burst leaking. This behind it is our intercooler, and that is actually okay, and then our radiator is behind that, and that's okay too. It just needs brushing, cleaned up. Next, we're stripping the accessories off the bonnet, so we're taking the hood latches, the cables, everything else, and we're going to remove the bonnet and the wing here, as you can see. So it's stripped apart. We have the hood, wing, headlights and the front of the car off as far back as we need it to. So this is all the damage removed, and now we can start building it back up. The body panels are made of aluminum like the hood and wings, so it's better to just replace them rather than try repair them. Making sure to keep track of brackets, plastics, indicators and padding off the wing that we can reuse.
Okay, so this is for the headlight. This is for the horn on this side. Then coming along, so these all that clips into the open and close vents. This is put on, it's not tightened down. The other one also needs to be put on. These four bolts, two need to be tightened down, they're only sitting on. The horn clip needs to be clipped in, it's only just sitting there. That looks like it's clipped in. This is hanging down, this is in the middle, it needs to be clipped in. And then that's for the headlight.
So these are some broken plastic trims that we've replaced on the front grills and radiator. Okay, so that's new crash bars, radiator supports, AC condenser. We have the front electronic grills back on. We just need the headlights. So there's 5 bolts in total that hold the headlights onto the car, and luckily none of these were broken on the headlights. They were completely still sealed units. There is no leaks. Their angel eyes still work, so we're going to reuse these, thankfully. So it's slowly starting to look like a car again and coming together. Okay, so here we have the new wings and new bonnet on, and we have both headlights installed, and we're just making sure now that they line up perfectly on the body lines. So it's all looking good so far. Obviously when we put the bumper on, we're going to need to line everything up again. And here's our new kidney grills. And here is our new bumper for the car with badges, grills, lower grills installed. And here it is being mocked up to the car. And this is the bumper bolted onto the car properly. And yeah, it's starting to look good. Both headlights are working. So the passenger door that had the dent and paint damage, it was actually cheaper just get a replacement door in the same colour from a breaker's yard than it was to fix the paint on that. So that's that back on, and we are also de-chroming the car. Moving on to the brakes, the discs, pads and rotors were in good condition, but there was severe shaking when applying the brake, and that normally means warped rotors. So we have a dial gauge set up here, and we're going to spin the rotor around, and you can see here there is noticeable warpage in the disc, 0.1 mil, which is enough to cause shaking when you're pressing the brakes. So for the sake of it, we're just going to put new front discs and pads. So we've removed the brake caliper. We're not going to disconnect it because we don't want to have to bleed the brakes. We've put our new brake disc on, that's them in the box there. We've greased our slide pins, and now we're just going to remove the old pads, put in new pads, and then put that back together, and that should be brakes done. Let's move on to the next thing. So next issue, we're getting coolant top up and low coolant warning lights on the F10. So we have a coolant leak, and it's not coming from the radiators. If we go under the bonnet here, there's a really common place where these tend to leak from, and ours is leaking from there. So if you see, my battery's going dead on my flashlight, but this pipe, which is the coolant flange, which one side comes off the head and goes in and attaches to that other rubber hose there, that cracks and splits. Good news is the replacement pipe is quite cheap, like 15 quid. Here's a picture of it here. The bad news is you need to take the intake manifold off to get to it. That's the only way I found anyway. So we're going to do that next. And while taking the intake manifold off, it's actually a really good idea to check out the swirl flaps, which commonly fail on these and get swallowed into the engine. Intake manifold is off, EGR cooler is disconnected, and the coolant flange is visible now that we need to replace. Intake manifold side, we can see our swirl flaps here. We want to check none are loose, have fallen off. Another common issue which we're going to be tackling here is carbon buildup. We're going to clean it all out, everything we see here, and we can see it's caked on even the throttle body here as well. And we can walnut blast the intake ports in the head. Moving on to the next issue, we have an engine fan fault, so our electric fans are not coming on. Okay, a couple of codes here, but focusing on the fan specifically, we have electric fan activation open circuit intermittent, electric fan activation short circuit to earth, electric fan sluggish, electric fan does not respond to test query, and electric fan functional limitation, blocked or electrical fault. So I have an old F10 electric fan here that I'm just going to use to show ye. When diagnosing an issue like this, first you want to actually just manually spin the fan. It should be completely free, like you can see in the video here, without any obstruction or issues. You should hear it, you know, nothing catching on it. Okay, and if we flip the fan around to the back here, so you're going to see it's not just a motor, you actually have an integrated fan control module. And so you have 3 pins. You have your 12 volt power, your ground, and then you actually have your 5 volt signal wire, and that uses PWM, which is pulse width modulation. So let me just pull up a quick diagram to show you how that works. But so for diagnosing, it's not as simple as just connecting 12 volt positive and negative to this fan and seeing if it actually was to spin. It needs the PWM 5 volt. Okay, so to start, you have your 12 volt battery, that has positive and negative. So your positive obviously goes through a fuse, so one of the first things you should do is check that you don't have any blown fuses and that you've got a solid ground. The easiest way of doing this is just unplugging that 3-pin connector at the fan and checking with a multimeter if you have 12 volts when your car has ignition switched on, which it should. Next, we need to check that 5-volt pulse width modulation, which you will need an automotive oscilloscope tool, which is an instrument used to view electrical waveforms. We don't have one of them, but we can use ISTA-D, which is diagnostic software specifically for BMW and Mini. So we will show you that in the next clip. Just to go over it, you have your battery, so your 12 volt power goes through a fuse that goes into your fan. Obviously it's grounded as well, and then the module on the fan will talk to the DDE, which is the diesel engine's ECU, and that will decide based off coolant temperatures, chargers temperatures, AC pressure and road speed whether or not to turn on the fan and what speed to turn on the fan. So if we go down to pulse width modulation here, it's a way to control power by turning electricity on and off very quickly. So instead of reducing the voltage, the controller changes how long the power stays on during each cycle. So 10% on, 90% off, you get a slower fan. 50 on, 50 off, you get medium powered fan. 90% on, 10% off, the fan is spinning obviously faster. So as you can see, we have ISTA-D diagnostics here. We were getting the same error codes. They give you plans that you can step through, and we were able to trigger the fan manually through ISTA. So this meant that the fan was actually fine, the module was okay, and what it ended up being was the coolant temperature sensor on the front of the block of the N47. So once that was replaced, then everything worked. So connecting the car up to ISTA, here's the setup here. It uses the Ethernet port for F series and newer. So you can see our CAN bus network here, working our way through the errors, only a couple left. Gave the car a full service, now the engine oil level is reading perfect. When replacing the fuel filter on these cars, you always want to use ISTA after to fully prime the fuel system, otherwise you'll cause damage to your high pressure fuel pump. I tried a couple of different sets of alloys that I had, didn't like any of them. These are 19s, they just don't look well at all. The car needs 20s, which the back is with a fat tyre. Then to fix up the deep scratches on the back, which went through the paint, we had to sand down, primer, bit of base coat, clear, and then polish and buff. This is very much a trust the process moment. So this is the before, and now we're going to show you the after. So let's start with the boot. That's it, all cleaned out, carpet's looking nice. Let's go around to the back seats. The leather is all nice. Okay, let's go around to the front seats. Carpet's all looking well, seats looking well. And let's finish off with a quick slideshow to show you the finished car. So this is it from all angles. Let me know what you think of the before and after in the comments. So we'll finish it off just with a quick test drive. It was very snowy when we were doing the test drive. This is a quick picture of it after we parked up. And thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, leave a like, please comment, subscribe.